this morning we've got our Sarah as well. So on the website you'll find this wonderful little handout under the children's section of the website. And it does have on there a song that you can sing. It's God is Good All the Time. It's a YouTube link. However, we're going to sing the Storymaker song because we're going to have a story in a little bit after I've explained what this week's message is all about. So, John, if I can get you to do the clicky bit. There we are. Brilliant. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, we're in tune. We're in tune. Jesus is our story maker. His stories bring the world to life. They teach us ways that we can be good, giving colour to the words that we call truth, knowing him the best that we can, doing things the way that he plans. His stories speak to us today, giving us the way that we should live. Jesus is the story maker for me. Jesus is the story maker for me. How lush is that? Jesus is 100% our story maker, isn't he? Right, so this morning I'm going to explain to you kind of what your mum and dad, you might have seen your mum and dad took part in something called communion this morning. And that's where the bread is broken and a cup of wine is shared. And it's to remember Jesus' sacrifice that he made on the cross. And we heard about the sacrifice last week, about the sacrifice that Jesus made. So on the sheet that you've got, it does explain about what the bread means and what the wine means. So the bread it stands for Jesus' body, which was broken on the cross. And the wine is the blood that was poured out. And the blood is kind of like the sacrifice that Jesus made. It symbolizes the sacrifice. And we use the bread and the wine cup to remember Jesus' sacrifice. So isn't that awesome? That's really, really good. So there's a little bit more in there for your mums and dads to help you to understand what actually happened during that time. But I've got a little story I want to tell you. So I need to do some bits at the moment. I've got a story I want to tell you. So let me just switch to the other story. So some of you, hang on, sorry. I'll do this. This shouldn't happen live. So we're going to listen to the story now. Should come up, hopefully. We're going to listen to a Freddie and Poppy story now. So, as many of you know, we've got these characters and these lovely family called who are Freddie and Poppy, Mum, Dad, Fluff and Duke. And they live in a lovely little house in a lovely little town with their mum, dad, rabbit called Fluff, and a dog called Duke. And one day, Freddie and Poppy were waiting by the front door. They had been talking to Granny and Gramps on the phone the day before, and Granny told them she had posted a very special present for them. Poppy heard the squeak of the front gate and called to Mum and Dad, "Mum, Dad, the postman is coming!" And the little door on the letterbox opened, and a single letter came through. It didn't even touch the floor before Freddie had scooped it out up in midair. He ran to the living room and opened it, with everyone else following closely by. Poppy could not contain her excitement. "Open it, Freddie, open it!" Ooh. Well, Fluff, who had been preening himself in his usual spot, decided all of this excitement was far too much for him, and he hopped out the room. Freddie tore open the envelope, tipping the contents onto the table. The logo for the zoo and shiny picture of a lion was unmistakable. Dad, picked up the letter and read, "Dear Freddie and Poppy, here are 4 tickets to go to the zoo. Gramps and I wanted to make sure you had a special day, so the tickets will let you go and have a special keeper experience with the lions. All our love from Granny and Gramps." The room exploded with excitement. Everyone was so happy. Lions were Freddie and Poppy's favourite animal. Freddie liked their big teeth and claws, and Poppy loved their furry manes. Mum and Dad checked the dates on the tickets. It was this Saturday, 2 days away. 2 days. 2 days seemed to pass so slowly. On Friday night, Poppy and Freddie couldn't sleep. They were so excited. On Saturday morning, the family got up and packed their lunches and the all-important tickets and got into the car for the drive to the zoo. They played I Spy on the way to pass the time. At the zoo, they all got out of the car and headed for the reception to book into their lion experience. They got their tickets stamped with the time they needed to be at the lion enclosure, 1 o'clock. This gave them plenty of time to go and see all the other animals. Poppy asked if she could hold on to her ticket for the lion experience. Mum and Dad weren't too sure. Poppy said, "I won't lose it. I just want to see the pictures on it." The ticket did have a very shiny, nice picture of a lion on it. Mum gave Poppy the ticket to hold on to, and they went to see the penguins and the parrots, the red panda and the elephant. Freddie wanted to see the insect and reptile house, but Poppy didn't want to. So Mum went with Freddie to see the spiders and snakes, and Dad and Poppy went to see the flamingos. At the flamingos, Dad noticed that Poppy was looking at her lion ticket again. Dad said, "Be careful, Poppy, you don't want to lose it. We won't be able to replace it. Give it to me and I will keep it safe." And Poppy said, "I won't lose it, Dad. I'll keep it safe. See?" And then she hurriedly put the ticket back in her pocket and continued looking at the flamingos, wondering how they managed to stand on one leg for so long. The family met back up at the picnic tables for lunch, and whilst tucking into their sandwiches, crisps, juice and fruit, Poppy took the ticket out of her pocket to look at it again. It was so shiny and beautiful, with a lovely picture of a lion on it. Suddenly, Dad's alarm went off to let them know they had 10 minutes to get over to the lion enclosure. They hurriedly packed away their things and put the rubbish in the bin. Freddie and Poppy were talking all the way there. Freddie wanted to see the lion eating, and Poppy just wanted to see him roar. Arriving just in time for the start of the special experience, the lady at the door asked for their tickets. Mum got out one for Freddie, one for herself, and one for Dad, and then looked at Poppy for her ticket. Poppy put her hands in her pockets and started to worry. She checked her other pockets. The ticket was nowhere to be found. Mum asked, "Poppy, where did you remember having it last?" And Poppy replied, "I had it at lunch because I remember looking at it." Dad said, "It must have been put in the bin with all the lunch things." The lady on the door, overhearing this, said that with only 3 tickets, she could only let 3 of them in. Mum and Dad looked at each other, and Dad said, Go and have fun and see the lions." He gave his ticket to Poppy and ushered them through the door with a wave. I will see you all afterwards, and you can tell me all about it. After about an hour of waiting, Poppy and Freddie and Mum met back up with Dad at the Meerkats. Poppy and Freddie excitedly told Dad all about the lion experience, how they got to give the lions some food and see where they slept, and to Freddie's joy, where they poo. Mum told Dad they had asked every question possible, and that they didn't actually use conditioner to keep their manes so nice. They just used their tongues. Poppy was going to give it a go later. Poppy gave Dad a big hug and said, "Thank you, Dad, so much. I'm so sorry you didn't get to see the lions." Dad explained that it was okay and that sometimes it is hard to sacrifice something special for someone else, but seeing her full of such joy made him happy all the same. On the way out of the zoo, they stopped in the gift shop. Freddie and Poppy put their pocket money together and bought Dad a toy stuffed lion to say thank you. They also got a framed photo of them with the lion to send to Granny and Gramps. In minutes of getting into the car, Poppy and Freddie fell asleep as Dad drove them home. It had been such a lovely day after all. The end. Isn't that an amazing story? See, we hear about the fact that Poppy lost her ticket. She wanted to hold on to it, but she lost it. And it was a ticket to such a special experience. But Dad gave up his ticket for her to go in instead of her. He sacrificed the opportunity to go and see the lions himself so that she would have that opportunity. Isn't that such a clear message of how we can give up something so that somebody else can enjoy? Isn't that such a clear message of what Jesus did for us on the cross as well? That sacrifice that he did, that perfect sacrifice that he did for us. So I would encourage you to have a look at the handout, because there's some actions that go along with this as well. So there's some not working. Okay, there's some actions that go along with this as well. So what I'm suggesting is that you eat together. So you, as a family, you can eat together. You can have food together. And this was something that Jesus really did put a lot of special and important thought into. He would eat with a lot of people. He'd share food with them. And especially at the Last Supper, he ate with his friends, the disciples. And he used it to teach them what was coming and how they should remember him through the bread and the wine. So we should look at different ways that we can remember Jesus during the week as well. So we should look at different activities that we can do and different ways that we can remember him and give thanks for what he does for us every day. We should do nice things for other people. We saw some lovely pictures for the NHS, some lovely rainbows going up as well. But there's other nice things that you could do. You could help your mum and dad. We're not saying that you need to wash their feet like they do in the story with Jesus when he washes the disciples' feet to be servants. But you can maybe give up your last biscuit, or you can help make dinner, or you can do like Ava did, doing the ironing or the washing or folding your clothes or putting things away. You can offer up the best seat on the sofa maybe when you're watching a film together as a family. Or maybe you can write someone a postcard and send it to them. Or you can phone call or video call your nanny and granddad or somebody else from the church who might not be in contact with people. And the craft this week, I want to encourage you to take part in John's big challenge, to make a massive "He is Risen" poster for your front windows of your house for Easter morning. I think it's going to be such a special time for us all this year. It's going to be so strange because we're not meeting up as a church family, but it's going to be such a special time because we're going to be able to spread the joy of Easter to more people through having that image in the front window and that amazing sign of He is risen. In our front windows. So I really, really want to encourage you to do that craft and make it as colourful as you can make it. Colour all the windows in different colours just to make it so eye-catching, but make sure that the words are nice and big and that everybody will be able to see that. So I want to finish up with a quick prayer because of the last thing we do is honour God, isn't it? So I want to finish up with a quick prayer. Dear God, thank you for the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Help us to remember to serve one another just as He served us and sacrificed for us. Thank you for your love, and we love you, God. Amen. And there's a little bit of a memory verse as well that you can have a look at on the sheet. And I would encourage you to do that memory verse and maybe send in a video of you saying the memory verse. That would be absolutely fantastic. So, I want to say thank you very much for joining us this morning. I hope you've enjoyed the story. I know I've enjoyed the story and finding out what Freddie and Poppy have been up to. I know I've enjoyed the songs, and I know that I've enjoyed all of your updates and all of your wonderful stories as well. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.